Imagine you're standing at the mouth of a cave in what's now southern Spain. It's 41,000 years ago. The fire behind you is the last one for 100 miles. You don't know that yet, but you're the last of your kind. For 400,000 years, your people ruled this continent. You survived ice ages that would kill a modern human in hours. You buried your dead. You cared for the injured. You had a brain slightly larger than the one that would replace you. And in a few generations, you'll be gone. This isn't fiction. This happened. And the question that's haunted scientists for over a century is simple. Why? Here's the strange part. Neanderthals weren't primitive brutes. Excavations at Shanidar Cave in Iraq revealed a Neanderthal skeleton, buried deliberately, who had survived a crushed eye socket, a withered arm, and partial deafness for years before death. Someone kept him alive. Someone cared. At Krapina in Croatia, evidence stretching back over 130,000 years shows Neanderthals using fire, crafting stone tools with precision, and adapting to brutal glacial cold with clothing made from processed hides. They weren't losing to us because they were dumber. So, what actually happened? Now here's the part nobody talks about enough. Around 45,000 years ago, something changed in Europe. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, started arriving from Africa in greater numbers. And for about 5,000 years, two human species shared the same forests, the same rivers, the same prey. 2,000 generations of overlap. Two species hunting the same mammoths. You'd think a slow fade. Instead, the fossil record shows something closer to a collapse. By 40,000 years ago, Neanderthal sites across Europe start going quiet. One by one, Shanidar Cave in Croatia, Mesmaiskia in the Caucasus, and finally, Gorham's Cave in Gibraltar, a rocky overhang at the very edge of the continent, where the last confirmed Neanderthal population held on until roughly 39,000 years ago, before the record simply stops. That's not a coincidence. That's a retreat. So what pushed them there? Theory 1, climate. Around the same window, Europe was slammed by a series of extreme cold snaps, one linked to a massive volcanic eruption in Italy known as the Campanian Ignimbrite, roughly 39,000 years ago. Ash blanketed hundreds of miles. Ecosystems that Neanderthals depended on for millennia collapsed in years, not centuries. But here's the problem with the climate-only theory. Neanderthals had survived far worse cold before. Multiple ice ages. This population had already proven it could adapt. So theory 2, us, genetic research led by Swana Pabo, work that eventually won a Nobel Prize, sequenced the Neanderthal genome and found something remarkable. Most people with European or Asian ancestry carry 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA today. Read that again. They're not fully gone. You might be carrying pieces of them right now, in your own cells, which means they didn't just vanish. They were absorbed, interbred into a growing, expanding population of modern humans who, according to research from sites like Kiro Cave in Bulgaria, were arriving in larger, more connected social groups, trading tools, sharing knowledge across tribes hundreds of miles apart. Neanderthal groups, by contrast, appear to have lived in small, isolated bands. Genetic studies suggest some populations numbered only in the dozens. Low genetic diversity. Fewer allies. Fewer options when the climate turned hostile. So picture again. Not a war. Not a massacre. Something quieter, and in some ways sadder. A slow demographic squeeze. Shrinking territory. Shrinking numbers. A population too small and too scattered to bounce back from one bad millennium. While more numerous, more network species expanded into every gap they left behind. The last Neanderthals didn't lose a battle. They ran out of chances. And here's the part that should sit with you. This wasn't inevitable. Run the climate differently. Run the population numbers differently. And it could have been Homo sapiens fading into a footnote, and Neanderthals writing the history books instead. Every person watching this carries a small, physical trace of a species that came within a few thousand years of being the last human species standing. They didn't disappear. They just became part of us.